says I'm live, and I believe I am. I really do believe I'm live. You can hear my words. I can see the microphone lights changing. So I do know that I can be heard. My Father's house, Word of Faith, Correctional Center. And if anything needed correction, Word of Faith needed needs correction. There is, along with YouTube, several other venues that you can associate with people on today. Yeah, there is. I don't know how to do all of them. I may never know how to do all of them. But there's Snapchat. There's some others. I mean, there's plenty. And if anybody has got one of these, they got to be familiar with some of the ways to communicate. For the last year and a few days, I have been listening to some voice communications on Clubhouse. That's what's going on right here, right now. Uh, it's either a replay or it's the now play being recorded. Uh, there is a creative realities. Yeah, you can check on creative realities on Clubhouse. That's what I'm looking at here. Creative realities, Hebrews 1 and John 1 decides all Godhead doctrines. Well, the thing about Godhead, Jesus never used the word, neither did some others. I don't know who came up with the word, but it wasn't God. I've got the book of 66. You know what the book of 66 is? That's the book that's called the Holy Bible. And the boss has now come in the door and he's gone down the hall. You saw it. But I have the book right here. It's 66 books in one book. It begins with what I see as Genesis, uh, and the end of the book is Revelation. You're familiar with the book if you've looked at my videos. You've also seen me have this book that has a special cover on it. I could, have put this cover on the other one. That's the other book. Now, today, I'm listening to or some others, creative realities. Hebrews 1 and John 1 decides all Godhead doctrines. Now, I don't know who. It appears that a person named Rodney, since he is on the app, in the position right here could be the one who started this room. They got Rodney. They got Titus. They got Trilla. They got Professor. They got Cool Man. They got Kevin. They got Zadok. They got Bob. Me. I'm there. Along with Santonio and Jamal. They are the ones that you can see. 3, 6, 9, 10. 10. 10 people are there. Now I am going to put this under the microphone here so that we can hear what they say. Now, I don't know exactly who's going to be saying what. I probably won't be saying anything on the app. I will before the day's over. I did before I started this live stream. So
to say that he's a tiger, and that was the problem with the Jews. What they saw in front of them was a man who, in the way he was speaking, making himself equal with God. So the point here is that they were confounded by how could he do these things if he's a human being? And that's the consistent argument we see throughout John. He made himself the son of God, which therefore made himself equal with God, but they didn't believe it because they saw a man. So, Kevin, I'm going to let Tilla have it. I'm going to just play this. Hold on, real let me make this statement and then pass it. I'm not going to ask another question. I just want to say, and I'll go pass it right to you, Trevor. All I'm going to say is, as I've already said, I agree that Jesus is teaching that the Son can do all the things that the Father does, clearly. But you can't start there by just skipping past and ignoring the fact that he starts by saying, very truly, I tell you, the Son can do nothing by himself. Like, it's like you keep skipping that as the context. No, I'm not skipping it. But no, I just wanted to make that statement. I feel as though you are, but I'll let Trilla make his. I'm not skipping it. I'm not skipping it. No, I acknowledge it. Well, right, but what we're talking about is what he can do.
Oh my God!
Go ahead.
When we talk about what the Jews thought and what the Jews believe, it's like, some of this stuff we speculate over, but some of this stuff we got the records, we got the writing. So, what my question is what sect of Judaism or what source, Dead Sea Scrolls, Talmud, this, that, or the third, what source dealing with Judaism and rabbinical traditions could show me where they thought that the Son of God or the Son of Man was equal to God the Father?
So that'll be Daniel 7, right? So for one, when you talk about rabbinic records, you're not going to get that till a couple hundred years after Christ, because the rabbinic tradition didn't exist.
That is right? Kevin.
So when you look at Daniel 7, for example, Daniel 7 is a theme of hybrid creatures being explained, right? You see the
Kevin
with foreheads, you see the lion with eagles'
wings. Anyone that wants to get the app can
heads.
see.
You see a
Kevin
bear with ribs in his mouth and iron teeth of iron. So these are mixed up looking animals. But then he sees in the night vision one other vision of a hybrid creature.
We'll see who speaks
next. He sees one who appears to be a son
Let's
of man.
see who
riding on the
speaks
cloud.
Next.
One who was like the Son of Man riding on the cloud. So according to Boyarin and according to a lot of Talmudic studies, this was yet another chimeric vision of a mix of a man riding on the cloud. In other words, a human being riding on what Yahweh is exclusively supposed to ride on, which is a cloud. So now, here's how we know this is in their theology.
Kevin,
because when we go to John chapter 12, and you see the Messiah says that Christ says the Messiah must be lifted up.
All right, you got
and the Jew says, We know from the law that
you
the
got
Messiah must be forever.
You got Kevin G's
Why then do
voice.
you say the Messiah must be lifted up?
That's what you got.
And then Christ says, walk with the light as long as you have it. Mark 14, Caiaphas the high priest asked, tell us plainly, are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?
Who is?
And then Christ quotes Daniel 7, I am, and you shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven.
Who is the
Then he rent their clothes and
blessed
said, blasphemy.
one?
Right? John 19 and 7.
The blessed one.
You crucify him. No, it is against our law that it is against our law that we kill one who makes himself the Son of God, right? Malachi 2:16. Prepare a seat for me. Would I think Rabbi Gamel or Rabbi Ishmael
a couple of rabbis. As you know, I'm not into rabbis. I could care less about rabbis. The main one that is on here that you got three in a row. Yeah, you got three of them. You got Professor, you got Cool Man, and you got Kevin. That's on the middle line there. Shows up a little better right there. There is there's where they are. That's Kevin. He's still running off at the mouth. The Cool Man, the one with the in the middle, right there. That's the fooled man, Cool Man, along with the Professor. And I'm down on the bottom. You can see me. I got a little different picture, an older picture there. And at my left and right, I got Zadok, and Santonio. But Kevin G has got the floor. He is the one that is speaking this foolishness on here today. And they're dealing with Hebrews 1 and John 1. Why do you want to deal with Hebrews 1 and John 1 when you got Genesis and Exodus? And you also got Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And if you want to know who I think is the better of those, I would go with Luke. I have stated before, it wouldn't bother me a bit if John was obliterated, removed from the book. Hebrews, I can take. Because Hebrews, I'll go a few more minutes here live because I want to, at least get 20 minutes live in. And right now, let's see. Maybe Trilla talking. What is Trilla saying?
Codify their stuff till 313 and 515, Jerusalem and Babylonian Talmud. I got that book by Stephen D. Young too. We got it at the same time. I'm on page 130. I can't get past that damn Theotokos nonsense. But when you look at Daniel chapter 7, the first Pesherim, like that's one of your earliest examples of a cinematic Pesherim, where the whole chapter is Pesherim, not the theatric Pesherim where they taking one verse and applying it over here, over there. You got the whole chapter from the beginning to the end, giving you the interpretation. Matter of fact, Daniel 7 is where we see the word Pashar at when he get the interpretation around verse 27. When we look in the Qumran caves and the Dead Sea Scrolls, they use that as Pesherim to say that the Son of Man or the Son of God is the saints of the Most High, is the children of Israel. It's not even.
Let me tell you, folks, the saints of the Most High today are those who believe God and believe the truth. Those are the saints. Now, you want to know about the deceived ones. They're the ones that believe something other than the truth. And there's plenty of other than the truth out there. And I'm looking at the timer, and I don't think I'm going to go over 20 minutes. Oh, it could. I don't know. But I do want you to know that Hebrews is in my book here. And I don't have my glasses on, but I can surely, find out and thumb through and find Hebrews just as I'm watching the pages flip. Okay. There's Hebrews. Hebrews in most Bibles begins with the word God, God, after he spoke long ago to the fathers. Now, if you have a problem with what fathers are, I mean, in today's world, I think people may have a problem. They don't know whether they're fathers or mothers. Some people may think that your mother is your father. But in Genesis chapter 1, that was Hebrews. In Genesis chapter 1, it says most Bibles begin with the words, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Check out any Bible you want. I don't care which one. It's going to say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But if you listen to these people that have heard and read something that, came about thousands of years later, because Moses, in the book after Genesis, you find out about Moses. And you find out what Moses does with Pharaoh. That's what you do. Moses had some interesting days before he brought all the people out of Egypt, brought them right through the sea. They walked out. I don't know how many it was. I don't know how wide the gap was between the waters, but all of the people that Pharaoh, had making bricks out of straw came out with all the goods. You can read in the book where Moses brought all the people, the Hebrews, God's people, out of Egypt. And they came out and they got 40 years. And then Moses dies. And after Moses dies, Joshua takes them on a little bit further. Anyway, I'll end this stream right now.